welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. I'm going to be showing you 3 different meals I made this past week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you're interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. The first meal I'm going to be showing you, I made some delicious chicken tortilla soup. This was by far my favorite meal of the week. So I am starting off melting a little bit of butter in a pot. I'm just going to let that melt down and start seasoning. I'm just adding in all my favorite Mexican seasonings, taco seasoning, cumin, onion powder, chili powder. I like to do this instead of just adding the seasoning to the soup afterwards. I feel like this really helps cook the spices. So next I'm going to begin creating my soup base. I am using water in chicken bouillon powder, so that acts as chicken broth. I am making enough for 2 nights. I don't have exact measurements, but I think I ended up doing 5 to 6 cups of water. So next I'm going to add in my chicken bouillon powder. It is about a teaspoon per cup, but I like to add a little bit more just for more flavor. Because I like a creamier soup, I'm going to add in a splash of heavy whipping cream. So next I'm going to add in my black beans. This is about 1 can. I did end up using the entire can and putting it all in. So once I've gotten the soup nice and hot and boiling, I'm going to add in some cornstarch slurry. This is just a thickener and it's going to help really thicken up the soup. So next I'm going to add a couple handfuls of shredded cheddar cheese. So next I'm going to add in some cooked chicken. This is about 2 chicken breasts, 2 large, that I shredded up. So once the chicken starts absorbing some of that liquid, I'm going to use my whisk to help break apart the chicken. What can I say? I love a thick, cheesy soup. So based on your desired thickness, you can add as much cornstarch slurry as you'd like. I do like a thick soup, but also keep in mind that it does thicken as it cools. So at this point, you can definitely start taste testing. I'm just going to add a little bit more onion powder. So this is how the soup looked after it was done. I am still dreaming about this. I just topped it with some jalapenos, avocado, and tortilla strips. The next dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made my husband some steak, a baked potato, and some broccoli. So I'm starting off with my baked potato because this will take the longest. So I'm just poking holes very hard in my potato. Next, I'm going to spread some oil all around the potato and sprinkle on some salt. You really want like a nice salty skin on the potato. So I baked my potato at 400 degrees for 1 hour. Next, I'm going to work on my steak. I'm using a petite sirloin, so I'm just going to kind of pat it dry and sprinkle with some salt. So next I'm going to prep my broccoli, so I'm just going to sprinkle some Cajun seasoning on there with a little bit of pepper. So next I'm going to work on cooking my steak. So on my pan I have set on medium high. Just going to melt a little bit of butter, let that get nice and hot, and I'm going to place the steak down. So once the steak is almost ready, I'm just going to pick it up and help brown the edges. So once it's my desired temperature, I'm going to melt some butter and make like a little garlic butter sauce to put on the top. So once the steak was done, I just set it on the plate, and next I'm going to assemble the baked potato. I just cut it in half, squeezed it together. I'm going to put in some butter, cheddar cheese, and some sour cream. This is how everything looked when it was done. It looks like just a nice American meal. I definitely had some bites of that baked potato. The last dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some crunchy chicken tacos and Mexican rice. So I'm going to start out with my Mexican rice because that does take the longest. So to a pan with a little bit of oil, I'm just going to add 1 cup of white rice and I'm going to toast it. So next I'm going to add in my seasonings. I am adding 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, and half a teaspoon of cumin. So next I'm going to add in my tomato sauce. I'm adding about half a can of an 8-ounce can. I'm just going to toast that around. So next I'm going to add in my water. I'm adding 2 cups of water and 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon powder. So once everything's nice and mixed together, you want it to bring it up to like a boil. Then you want to turn the heat down and put a lid on it. So next we're going to work on our taco filling. So I did chop up part of a jalapeno and then part of an onion. I do have some chicken cooking in my Instant Pot and I'm going to shred that up as well. So I just have my pan set on medium heat and I'm just going to cook down the onions until they're a little soft. So next I'm going to work on seasoning my onion mixture. I'm using just the same seasonings: taco seasoning, cumin, onion powder. So once they've softened and cooked down, I'm going to add in my shredded chicken that I cooked. So next I'm going to add about 1 cup of water and some chicken bouillon powder. We're just going to make this mixture nice and saucy. So next I'm just going to season my chicken as well. If you could only smell how good this chicken smelled with the Mexican rice on the side. So this is how everything looked when it was done. It just made 2 tacos and some Mexican rice on the side. I just topped it with lettuce, avocado, salsa. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.